Listen to me carefully. Life is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. Every single morning when you wake up, the clock starts ticking, and you have only two choices: either you run the day, or the day runs you. Most people don't understand this simple truth. Success is not about luck. It's not about waiting. It's not about some magic opportunity that suddenly falls in your lap. Success is about decision. The decision to rise when others stay down. The decision to act when others hesitate. The decision to push when others quit. And right now, in this very moment, you have that choice. You can listen passively, or you can let these words light a fire inside you. Because your life will not change tomorrow, or next week, or next year. It will change the moment you decide to change it. Think about it. How many days have passed where you said, "Tomorrow I'll start"? How many weeks have you wasted telling yourself, "I'll do it later"? How many years have gone by where you knew you were capable of more, but fear, or doubt, or laziness held you back? The truth is painful, but it's also powerful. Nothing changes until you change. You want freedom? Then you have to fight for it. You want success? Then you have to demand it from yourself. You want a better life? Then you have to build it, step by step, decision by decision. The world doesn't owe you anything. No one is coming to save you. If you want a new story, then you must be the author. If you want a new life, then you must create it with your own hands. Listen, your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. Your failures do not define you. They are lessons, not limits. Every failure you've had until today can be fuel, if you choose to see it that way. Every disappointment can be the reason you rise higher. Every obstacle can be the training ground that makes you unstoppable. But here's the key. You have to stop negotiating with your future. You have to stop telling yourself stories about why you can't. You have to stop waiting for someone else to believe in you, because you must be the one who believes in you first. When you raise your standard, life changes. When you demand more from yourself, life responds. When you decide that nothing, no excuse, no fear, no limitation, will stop you, then you finally become powerful. So I ask you right now, what are you going to do with this day? Will you waste it, or will you use it? Will you let it pass, or will you squeeze every drop of potential out of it? Because listen, this day, this hour, this very second is your chance. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Stand up in your mind. Raise your energy. Demand more from yourself. You've got one life. One chance. One story to write. And the question is, will you write a story of excuses, or a story of greatness? The choice is yours. The time is now. Let me tell you something powerful. Your mind is the most important battlefield you will ever face. It is not the economy, not your family, not your circumstances that decide your future. It is the mindset you choose every single day. Understand this, the story you tell yourself about who you are will either empower you or imprison you. If you tell yourself you're not enough, you will live small. If you tell yourself life is unfair, you will live bitter. If you tell yourself success is for other people, you will never even try. But the moment you shift that story, the moment you decide that life is happening for you, not to you, everything changes. Listen to me, pain is a gift. Struggle is a teacher. Obstacles are opportunities in disguise. And when you see life that way, suddenly what looked like a problem becomes your path. The truth is, most people are not held back by the world, they are held back by their own beliefs. They believe they're too young, or too old. They believe they don't have enough time, or enough talent, or enough money. But let me tell you the truth, those are not facts, those are excuses. And excuses are lies we tell ourselves to feel comfortable staying small. You want to change your life? Then change your mindset. You want more power? Then change your perspective. You want freedom? Then change the story you tell yourself every day. Every time you say, "I can't," you build a wall in your own mind. Every time you say, "I'll try later," you steal from your own future. Every time you say, "I'm not ready," you hand your dream to someone else who is willing to act. So stop. Stop lying to yourself. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop feeding the fear. Listen, the difference between people who live average lives and people who live extraordinary lives is not luck. It is not talent. It is not opportunity. It is belief. Extraordinary people simply believe differently. They believe they deserve more. They believe they can create more. They believe that no matter how many times they fall, they can rise again. And because they believe it, they act on it. And because they act on it, they create results. And those results reinforce their belief. It becomes a cycle of growth, of power, of achievement. But the same is true in the opposite direction. If you believe you are powerless, you will not act. If you don't act, you will not achieve. If you don't achieve, you reinforce the belief that you are powerless. It becomes a cycle of weakness, of fear, of regret. Which cycle are you living in today? Which cycle are you feeding with your thoughts, your words, your decisions? Right now, you must decide, are you going to keep telling yourself the same old story, or are you going to write a new one? Because hear me, the story you tell yourself will become the life you live. So if you want a new life, you must create a new story. And it starts with one decision. The decision to raise your standards. The decision to stop settling. The decision to no longer accept mediocrity in your life. Raise your standard for your body. Raise your standard for your relationships. Raise your standard for your business, your career, your finances. Stop living at good enough and demand extraordinary. Because listen to me, good enough is the enemy of greatness. And you were not put on this planet to be average. You were not born to simply survive. You were born to create, to contribute, to lead, to thrive. So stand up in your mind right now and say, I am done telling myself small stories. I am done letting fear run my life. I am done being less than I can be. This is your time. This is your chance. This is your decision. Shift your mindset, and you shift your destiny. I need you to understand something deep, something life-changing. Knowledge is not power. People love to say that, but it's not true. Knowledge is only potential power. The real power comes when you take that knowledge and you act on it. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Action is the difference between someday and today. Action is the proof that you are serious about your goals. Listen, your life will never change just because you know more. Your life changes when you do more. Reading books won't transform your life unless you apply the lessons. Listening to speeches won't change your future unless you execute. Planning won't matter if you never step forward. So stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. Because the fear never goes away, you just get stronger. Most people are addicted to thinking, to overanalyzing, to waiting for the perfect moment. But champions are addicted to doing. They step forward when others hesitate. They take the first step even when they can't see the whole path. They act, and because they act, they create momentum. And momentum is the secret weapon of success. Because once you start, once you move, once you act, suddenly doors open, opportunities appear, energy flows. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to move. Think about it, every great invention, every successful business, every world-changing movement began with one step. One bold, imperfect, fearless step. So what's the step you need to take today? What's the call you've been avoiding? What's the project you've been delaying? What's the dream you've been too scared to chase? Do it. Do it now. Not later. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Because let me tell you, you will never feel ready. Courage doesn't come before you act. Courage comes because you act. Action creates confidence. Action creates clarity. Action creates results. And results reinforce belief. And belief fuels more action. It becomes a cycle of unstoppable growth. But the opposite is also true. If you don't act, you lose confidence. If you don't act, you stay confused. If you don't act, you get no results. And then you start believing you're not capable. It becomes a downward spiral of fear and regret. So hear me, don't let hesitation destroy your destiny. Don't let fear steal your future. Don't let excuses rob you of your greatness. Massive action is the cure. Massive action is the antidote to fear. Massive action is the path to success. So take the step. Make the call. Write the book. Start the business. Run the mile. Create the video. Launch the dream. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect conditions. The only permission you need is your own decision. And I promise you this, the moment you start moving, life starts moving with you. Opportunities show up. Resources appear. The right people enter your life. Because life rewards action takers, not excuse makers. So let me ask you, what would your life look like 6 months from now if you started today? What would your body look like, your business, your relationships, your finances, your confidence, if you started taking massive action right now? The answer is simple, everything would change. And it all starts with one step, one decision, one moment of courage. So decide, and act, and never look back. Because the world doesn't respond to what you know. The world responds to what you do. Listen carefully, fear is the most powerful force in your life, and at the same time, it is the most powerless. Fear only has power because you give it power. Fear only controls you because you allow it to. Think about it. How many times have you let fear stop you? How many dreams have you abandoned because you were afraid? How many opportunities have you ignored because the risk seemed too high? Here's the truth. Fear is a habit, and habits can be broken. Every time you face fear, every time you take action despite it, you weaken its grip. You see, the human brain is amazing. It is wired to protect you, to keep you safe. But sometimes, it confuses comfort with safety. And in doing so, it convinces you to stay small, to settle, to play it safe. But safety is an illusion. Comfort is a prison. And if you never step out, you will never know how strong you truly are. Let me tell you a secret. The people you admire, the people you consider extraordinary, they have felt fear. They have stared doubt in the face. They have been terrified, anxious, and uncertain. But they acted anyway. They acted despite the fear. And that action transformed their life. The question is, what are you willing to face? Are you willing to look at your fears and say, "You will not control me"? Are you willing to break the chains of limitation that have held you back for too long? Because limitation is also a habit. Limitation is a story you tell yourself about who you are and what you can do. And the moment you stop believing in those limits, you open up a world of possibilities. Most people live their entire life in chains they never saw. They believe, "I can't, I'm not enough, it's impossible for me." But the reality? Those chains are made of their own thinking. And the key to freedom is simple: change your thinking. Every time you confront fear, every time you challenge a limitation, you grow. Every time you step into discomfort, every time you push past your own excuses, you expand your capacity. Fear and limitation are illusions. They are walls that exist only in your mind. And walls can be climbed, broken, or walked through. So stand up and face your fear today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because every day you wait is a day wasted. Every day you avoid is a day of lost potential. Do you want to spend your life living small? Or do you want to live large, fully, courageously, and passionately? You have everything inside you to conquer every fear. You have the power to shatter every limitation. You have the strength to rise above every obstacle. But it starts with a decision. A decision to refuse fear. A decision to refuse limitation. A decision to step into the life you were meant to live. And let me tell you, once you make that decision, everything changes. Your energy changes. Your actions change. Your results change. Because the world responds to courage. The world rewards the brave. The universe conspires in favor of those who refuse to be held back. So I ask you now, what fear are you going to conquer today? What limitation are you going to destroy? What step are you going to take that will prove to yourself that you are more powerful than you ever imagined? Fear is temporary. Courage is eternal. Action is unstoppable. Stand tall. Breathe deep. Take your step. Because the life you want, the success you deserve, the greatness you were born for, is on the other side of fear. Listen closely, success is not an accident. It is not luck. It is not something that just happens. Success is a habit. Success is a standard you set for yourself every single day. Success is what you decide to accept and refuse in your life. Most people wander through life, reacting to circumstances, hoping for something better, waiting for a break. But extraordinary people create standards that refuse to negotiate with mediocrity. You want results? Then raise your standards. You want wealth? Then raise your standards. You want health? Then raise your standards. You want relationships? Then raise your standards. A standard is a rule. A standard is a boundary. A standard tells the universe, I am not settling for less than my potential. And here's the truth, your habits follow your standards. If your standard is low, your habits will be low. If your standard is high, your habits will be unstoppable. Think about it, every habit you have today was once a decision. Every habit you practice repeatedly was once a choice. And every habit you choose today will shape your tomorrow. Successful people don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for circumstances to be perfect. They create rituals, they design their day, they engineer their mindset to produce results automatically. They wake up early. They train their body. They feed their mind. They focus on what matters. They refuse distractions. And because they do these small things every single day, the results compound. It's called the power of consistent action. Most people fail not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They fail because their standards are too low. They accept mediocrity in work, in relationships, in health, in thinking. If you want extraordinary, you must refuse ordinary. If you want exceptional, you must stop accepting average. So I ask you, what standards have you set for yourself? Are they standards that produce excellence? Or are they standards that maintain comfort and familiarity? Raise your standard for your mind. Demand clarity, discipline, and focus. Raise your standard for your body. Demand energy, strength, vitality, and health. Raise your standard for your relationships. Demand loyalty, honesty, respect, and love. Raise your standard for your work. Demand excellence, persistence, and continuous improvement. Because the universe doesn't honor intentions. It doesn't reward desire. It rewards action and consistency aligned with high standards. Remember, excellence is not a skill. Excellence is a habit. Excellence is a standard. Every time you make a choice aligned with your high standard, you grow. Every time you honor your standards, you gain confidence. Every time you live by your standards, you create a life of freedom, abundance, and fulfillment. Stop waiting for permission to be great. Stop negotiating with your potential. Stop allowing fear, doubt, and laziness to dictate your life. Raise your standard now. Set the rules. Live by them. And watch the world respond to the person you have become. This is how extraordinary lives are built, not by luck, not by waiting, not by wishing, but by habits, standards, and relentless action. So I ask you, will you settle or will you rise? Will you accept good enough or demand greatness? Because today is the day you define who you are and what you will accept. Stand up in your mind. Raise your standard. And step into the life you were always meant to live. Listen to me, this is the moment. This is the moment where everything you've learned, everything you've felt, everything you've been waiting for comes together. Right now, you have a choice. You can walk away and go back to the same life you've always lived. Or you can step forward and claim the life you've always dreamed of. I need you to feel this in your bones. Your potential is unlimited. You have everything inside you to create, to build, to conquer, to rise, to dominate your life. But here's the truth, potential alone does nothing. Dreams alone do nothing. Plans alone do nothing. Action changes everything. Courage changes everything. The decision to refuse mediocrity, the decision to refuse fear, the decision to refuse excuses, that changes everything. I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. What am I willing to do today that my future self will thank me for? Because the life you want, the success you deserve, the freedom you crave, it is waiting on the other side of discipline, sacrifice, and massive action. Stop negotiating with your destiny. Stop telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Stop listening to fear, doubt, and excuses. They are lies. They are chains. They are illusions. Stand up in your mind. Stand up in your body. Raise your energy. Raise your focus. Raise your standard. Right now, I want you to visualize the life you desire. See it in your mind with every detail. See the success, the confidence, the impact, the happiness. And then take one bold step toward it. You may be scared. Good. That means it matters. You may feel doubt. Good. That means growth. You may hesitate. Good. That means courage is waiting. But do not stop. Do not hesitate. Do not allow comfort to steal your future. This is your life. This is your chance. This is your moment. I want you to make a promise, not to me, but to yourself, that you will refuse to settle, that you will refuse to wait, that you will refuse to be less than you are capable of. Because when you make that promise, everything changes. Your energy changes. Your decisions change. Your results change. Your life changes. The universe responds to those who act. The universe rewards those who refuse to be stopped. The universe conspires in favor of those who refuse to give up. So take the action today. Take the step today. Make the call today. Start the project today. Chase the dream today. Because the life you want, the success you deserve, the happiness you crave, it is all waiting for you. But you must go get it. Stand tall. Stand proud. Stand ready. Because today is the day you rise. Today is the day you conquer. Today is the day you step into the greatness you were born for. And when you do, you will look back and realize, every fear, every doubt, every obstacle, it was all preparation for this moment. So step forward. Take control. Take massive action. And never, ever, ever settle.